You were born on April 29th, 1901, inside the Imperial Palace in Tokyo. The palace is quiet. Court officials move carefully through its halls. Outside, Japan is rapidly modernizing and becoming one of Asia's rising powers. Inside these walls, a future emperor has just entered the world. Your name is Hirohito. If you're enjoying this historical story so far, don't forget to like and subscribe for more episodes like this. Unlike most children, your life is planned from the very beginning. Private tutors teach you history, science, politics, and military affairs. Every lesson is designed to prepare you for a future few people can imagine. You are not being raised to become a businessman or a soldier. You are being raised to become emperor. In 1921, you leave Japan and travel to Europe. It is the first time a Japanese crown prince has visited the West. You visit Britain. You meet kings, princes,
and political leaders. You see powerful nations and modern industries. The journey broadens your view of the world. But when you return home, even greater responsibilities await. If you want part 2 of this journey, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. In 1926, your father, Emperor Taisho, dies. At the age of 25, you become Emperor of Japan. Millions of people now look to you as the symbol of the nation. 2 years later, your formal enthronement ceremony takes place in Kyoto. Wearing magnificent imperial robes once worn by emperors before you, you officially assume the throne. A new era begins, the Showa era. Japan continues to grow stronger. Factories expand. Ships fill the harbors. The military gains increasing influence over national policy. Many leaders believe Japan must expand beyond its islands to secure resources and protect its future. In 1931, Japanese forces enter Manchuria in northeastern China. The operation succeeds.
Smash that like button if you're following this timeline. Things are about to escalate. A new Japanese-controlled state is established, but international criticism quickly follows. Japan ignores the protests. Expansion continues. In 1937, full-scale war breaks out with China. Japanese armies advance into major cities. Beijing falls. Shanghai falls. Nanjing falls. The conflict becomes one of the largest wars in Asia. Inside the Imperial Palace, military conferences become more frequent. Government officials and generals gather around maps. Among them is Prime Minister Hideki Tojo. The future of the empire is being discussed behind closed doors. By 1941, tensions with the United States have reached dangerous levels. Economic sanctions hurt Japan's access to vital resources. Military leaders argue that decisive action is necessary. Plans are drawn. Strategies are finalized. Then, on December 7th, 1941, Japanese aircraft attack Pearl Harbor. The United States enters the war. If you've made it this far, you're definitely enjoying the story.
Philippines, Singapore, Malaya, Burma, and the Dutch East Indies. Across Asia and the Pacific, the empire expands rapidly. By 1942, Japan controls its largest territory in history. Millions of people now live under Japanese rule. To many observers, Japan appears unstoppable. But the tide soon begins to turn. At the Battle of Midway, Japan suffers devastating losses. Several aircraft carriers are destroyed. Experienced pilots are lost. The momentum shifts.
From this point forward, Allied forces steadily advance across the Pacific, island by island, month by month. The empire begins to shrink. By 1945, Japan faces overwhelming pressure. Major cities are bombed. Factories are destroyed. Food shortages become common. Tokyo suffers immense devastation. Military leaders search for solutions, but the situation continues to worsen.
The war is being lost. Then comes a weapon unlike anything the world has ever seen. In August 1945, an atomic bomb destroys Hiroshima. Days later, another bomb devastates Nagasaki. Entire sections of both cities disappear. The destruction shocks the world. Japan faces a decision that will determine its future. Inside the Imperial Palace, a historic message is prepared. For the first time, the Japanese people will hear the voice of their emperor. You record a surrender broadcast. Some military officers attempt to stop it. They search the palace and try to seize the recording. But they fail. The message survives. On August 15, 1945, millions gather around radios. Your voice echoes across the nation. Japan has surrendered. The war is over.
Soon afterward, you meet General Douglas MacArthur, the American commander overseeing occupied Japan. The photograph of the two of you standing together becomes one of the most famous images of the 20th century. It symbolizes the end of Imperial Japan and the beginning of a new era. Meanwhile, the Tokyo war crimes trials begin. Former military and political leaders are brought before an international tribunal. Among them is Hideki Tojo.
Japan begins confronting its past. In 1946, another major transformation takes place. You issue the Humanity Declaration. The belief that the emperor is divine is formally renounced. A new constitution changes the role of the monarchy. Political power shifts to elected leaders. The emperor becomes a symbol of the nation, rather than its ruler. Japan is changing once again. The years that follow are remarkable. Factories reopen, industries grow, technology advances. Bullet trains connect cities. Modern skyscrapers rise above Tokyo. The nation rebuilds itself with extraordinary speed. Within a few decades, Japan becomes one of the world's largest economies. The country that emerges is very different from the empire that entered the war. As you grow older, your attention increasingly turns towards science. You develop a deep interest in marine biology. You spend time studying ocean life and conducting research. Away from politics, you pursue knowledge and scholarship. If you enjoy historical content like this, don't forget to subscribe. More stories are coming. In January 1989, after more than 60 years on the throne, your life comes to an end. Across Japan, flags are lowered. Citizens gather to pay their respects. The Showa era ends. A new chapter begins. When historians look back on your reign, they see one of the most dramatic periods in modern history. You witnessed imperial expansion, global war, defeat, occupation, reconstruction, and economic revival. Few leaders have seen their nation transformed so completely within a single lifetime. This was your life as Emperor Hirohito. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more interesting videos.